All right, and we are here to go over the rites of war for the 14th Legion for the Death Guard. Just as we've done in other videos for these, we're going to do a short refresher in case it's either been a while since you've read about the Death Guard, or if you skipped our other video, go back and watch it. And then we're going to go through the two rites of war they have. So Steve's going to start us off by giving us a little bit of a refresher on who these boys are.
Yes, so the Death Guard are a legion that absolutely loves siege warfare. Not so, including the big guns, but more specifically, they love to just march troops forwards, dig in, and they fight the World War One style siege warfare really effectively. And kind of like, if you know your 40k a bit, the Mordian Iron Guard, where they're all about, keeping morale and marching forwards and nice blocks, they like to do that kind of stuff. And their rules play into that. As long as you don't run or use a special movement type, the Legion gets to count as stationary with all of its stuff, which, well, almost all its stuff, everything that's not cavalry or artillery. So you end up with, tactical squads that get to walk forward 7 inches and then fury the Legion like it's nothing, as well as heavy support squads that get to hide, pop out, and shoot 10 las cannons, with only return fire being a threat to them. Moving on from that, they have a couple of fun units that are Terminators. Much like their 40k counterparts, there are Death Shroud and there are Grave Wardens, and they pretty much do as they can. One's got scythes, one's got some sick grenade launchers. Both are pretty tanky.
All right.
I think that does it.
All right.
As a really
So
quick recap.
Dan is going to go over the reaping first. As always, what we do for our rites of war, we talk about the limitations, so that way we don't get too excited when we find out you can't do something.
All right, we ready? Let's do this. So the reaping limitations: models taken as part of the detachment using this rite of war may not make run moves. All right, or make reactions that allow them to make a move. Ooh. With the exception of the remorseless advanced react. Okay, so their advanced reaction still works. No unit in the detachment uses the rite of war may be assigned to deep strike assault, subterranean assault, or flanking assault. So you're on the board, period.
You could still do basic reserves.
Good. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but... So, the effects. Legion veteran squads may be chosen as troop choices in a detachment using the rite of war.
There's very little you care about for a line. It's okay.
Legion heavy support... True. Legion heavy support squads may be taken as non-compulsory troop choices in a detachment using this rite of war. Now that is sexy. And any model chosen as part of the detachment using this rite of war may give the character subtype rad grenades for 10 points each. Oh, okay.
If you knew that changed my mind. How did you not read it first?
Slightly. Okay.
We take time to read these ahead of time.
No, because
okay.
I completely skipped the rad grenade because I was so messed up with the because they're not running fine. Who cares? That's usually what they don't do. The make reaction that makes them move kind of hurts a little bit because they kind of want to be moving around. But you could take heavy support squads as non-compulsory troop choices. That is.
Would you like
not
some
doing
heavy
move
guns?
reactions hurts less when your units have very long range guns, like your heavy support squads. I'm not as worried about my movement reaction because unless it was to move away.
Well, no, it's not that you don't get movement reactions. It's reactions that you move, so you could still interceptor all day long.
Yeah, because interceptor's in the movement. Since it's not compulsory, just make your veteran, because veteran squads get the 2 wound. They can get customized a little bit more. So make them your 2 basically compulsory troop choices
if you want,
and then take
it's
4
maybe
heavy
taken
support squads
as non-compulsory troops. It's not required, so you could actually use them in heavy support as well.
Someone won't take
7 if you wanted to.
So that'd be a maximum of 7? If you just max out both? Yeah.
Me personally, okay, maybe other people run a bunch of vets. I don't really run vets, but the first line, I still like what you get, including the rad grenades as well. So I don't take the vets. If you're worried about scoring line, I could still take 2 things that are line, and then I can fill some other options in with heavy support, and I can give people rad grenades. So that way, if you are charging them, you're at -1 toughness.
Well, fun fact, now that you give your sergeants rad grenades, if they get charged or you charge, your power sight's now instant death, which is hilarious. Now there's instant death or
Yep.
faux instant death everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's really neat. And it's only 10 points,
There's a
so that's not
lot
bad.
of, heavy support. A lot of them are usually high enough strength to do instant death, stuff like that. But even on your stuff that is a little bit tougher and all, get to hit them a little bit easier. Or the rag grenades will help in case for anything that actually gets through. So, yeah.
Yeah. Someone charges your Volkite squad. Shoot them 50 times. They
Yeah.
get in. Whoever survives is now toughness 3. And they're fighting a sergeant in
Yeah,
that squad
yeah, if
with
you
a
happen
power
to put one
stake.
on there. Well, sergeant in that, assuming you put the, depends on the type of
yeah.
unit, could they actually have taken that? Well, let's take a look.
Did the sergeant take a power weapon?
Well, yeah, but you switch out a
the
power
character of
weapon
a
for
heavy
it, so they
support squad
weren't allowed to take a power weapon. You
weapon,
weren't
yeah.
doing that. I don't know if they were. I got to get to it. Well,
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're allowed to take a power weapon.
nope, that's not a thing.
Oh, okay.
So, nope, that won't happen that way.
Oh.
Yeah.
In the arms of the angel. I was so happy. But still, having you charge whatever you get shot 50 times with Overwatch, and then whatever survives gets
Remember,
in with
they're toughness 3 the whole time.
Toughness 3. Now they're toughness 3. That's still good.
Well, yes, but I mean,
No, only
they're
the first turn.
toughness 3 when they charge
First round.
in, not once they're already in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeesh.
It's a
That's
squad you
nuts.
don't charge. You take this on certain squads, and they're not going to charge them because of all the horrible things that you can do to
But I
them.
mean,
Because I might be wrong, but that particular Volkite weapon is strength 6, so you're not charging this unit. Yeah, you put the rag grenades on there for 10 points, you're not going to get charged. No. All right. Any other thoughts on this one from anyone? This is straightforward.
Steve? It's very straightforward.
I mean, rag grenades are fun.
No.
Is there anything else to say?
No,
Honestly, I don't even know if I would go all in on the veterans and heavy support squads. I would take this just for the rag grenades.
I wouldn't worry about the veterans at all. I would take rag grenades, which I like, and I would use this to give me some options for my heavy support, just a few that leave then my heavy support slots open for, some of my other dreadnought types, the Daredeo, or some other big heavy things that fit their idea of just blanketing your opponent. Because then you could still take tanks or something like that. That's really what I would do. I like heavy support squads. I just don't run many right now because I want other things in there. Swapping them out lets me actually take some of the other fun stuff.
By the way, I was checking to see if Death Shrouds can be characters. They can't.
No.
So no rag grenades for them. I was hoping you could give rag grenades to the Death
it's
Shroud
character
for 10
subtype. So
points,
if
I
you
would
put
win.
an independent character in there, they would be characters. They could take the rag grenade, or like whoever is, if they're retinue for someone. All right.
So it's straightforward rite of war.
Next to the creeping
looks
death.
good.
So originally this rite of war. When I was looking, because I wanted to have some form of an ally thing, I thought it would just be more interesting. So I sat down, I thought about it, I looked through different ones, and I said, okay, which rite of war do I like the idea of? If I was playing a really big game, what rite of wars do I like? Where would it be? Oh, I got giant ally. Okay, they have one as well. What's it fit? I was like, oh, creeping death. That fits perfect. So again, we'll start with the limitations here. Has to be used by traders. It makes sense. You are literally going to bombard the battlefield with poisons and all kinds of horror. An army that uses rite of war has to have a Legion Centurion, whether he's normal, Cataphracti, or Tartaros, that has the Siege Breaker console upgrade. So, got to be trader, got to have a Siege Breaker. What you get for it? For anyone who's a Death Guard in this rite of war, they automatically pass any dangerous terrain tests. All models in the deployment zone of this detachment using this rite of war gain Shrouded 6-up special rule, and your entire deployment zone for the detachment is difficult and dangerous. Remember, with Death Guard, you essentially, for movement purposes, ignore difficult terrain. Yes, if you charged in there, you would still take the... Do you still have to take the initiative penalty? Well, no, they ignore the movement.
If it says ignores difficult terrain, then no.
So they would take it. But you can still move around. You don't care, it's dangerous.
But
if the opponent comes in, it's bad for them. All zones of area terrain on the battlefield, and that's jungles, woods, ruins, craters, any sort of area terrain are now dangerous as well. And grave wardens are non-compulsory troop choices.
Oh shit.
That one is the least spicy of the things. If you want to take other elites, it's useful, but being able to put them in, I do like that. It's the other things it does. You don't care about dangerous terrain anymore. You really don't care about difficult in general unless it's charge related. And your units that want to charge, put a grenade harness on them. And all the area terrain on the board, it's not even just in your zone. All the area terrain is dangerous, which means your opponent doesn't want to be in any of it. Or if they are, they're not going to want to move because as soon as they move, they can start losing models. And let's face it, for a lot of area terrain, that's where you want, bigger hitters or anything like that, or heavy weapon type units as needed, or even tactical marines because maybe they'll survive better. They can hide out in the terrain until they're ready to move towards objectives or move to do something good. Nowhere is safe for your opponent because you have just bombed everything. I really like this. I don't know if it's really that good. I will put it that way. I think it also could veer a little bit towards a negative play just because, all your terrain, if you happen to roll poorly, I'm just going to be killing your models on your terrain. But I do think it's both fitting and fun. Okay.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I don't think it's bad play. Only because it's a 1 in 6 chance. Yes. And yes, you will lose models if you roll that 1. But how is it any different from the Hecaton imperative that the Dark Angels
that
can
doesn't
take?
make it okay.
Or, which also creates. No, I know, but what I'm saying is like there are so many other rites of war that like there are so many other things that can be bad play. Let me rephrase that. There are so many other things in this game that can be bad play and feels bad. I don't think this ranks up in the top 10.
Overall, no. But I could see it verging on. This would not be something you'd want to take against someone who went. So you're playing your early games. You're big enough now. Say you're doing a league building up. You can now start taking rites of war. This is not the rite of war you want to be taking then. Because if someone is new to the game, you're starting to learn the game. Like, oh yeah, all the terrain, don't stand in it because I'm going to kill you. Oh, you want to get into my, and I'm going to sit back in my deployment zone because I'm better at firing because I can walk around fine. And as you come into my deployment zone, your models are going to start dropping again. Yes. In a big thing, there's other crazy shit. I would agree with you there
100%. But I think overall, when you're starting to do 3K and 2K games, this is fine.
I looked at it because the Eschaton imperative, I'm like, ooh, you get big enough, multiple praetors. I was like, the whole board could be awful. And I loved that idea.
Yes, you double up with this and that. That's why I thought.
Exactly.
Wait, that's what I thought you
war
liked.
Crimes the army list.
Hold on, wait. That's why I thought you liked the creepy death because you wanted to pair with Hecaton.
No, it has to be a big game because you need to have
that's what I thought.
And you have to be able to fit the other stuff in, obviously.
Yes.
To make it worthwhile. But I looked at that, I was like, oh yeah, I like this idea. Like that was a terrible sort of one-off idea of something to do. So I kind of liked that sort of thought concept. I don't even know if it technically, when I thought of it, I don't think I read too much into figuring out if I could even actually pull it off, but I liked the idea. So I went Death Guard and I haven't looked back from that since. Any thoughts on this one, Steve? I want to make sure you get a chance to let us know anything you're thinking.
I mean, I love the idea of this one, but it doesn't connect.
I like it for it being cool. I'm not saying it's going to be good, but I think it's neat and it fits my idea of them. It's very little limitation, but also not tons of gain. Although if you want one of your special squads as a troop, this is the one way to do that because they'll give you Grave Wardens. Which, hey, maybe that's enough of a thing for a person. All right. That seems like it does it for us for Rites of War. Let us know in comments, anything like that. If you've run any of these, your thoughts on them, or how they've worked out for you.